सिद्धार्थ, आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा है? बिकॉज यू आर ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ द स्टार्टअप सक्सेस स्टोरी एंड ट्रीबो होटल्स या फिर जो इस तरह के पोर्टल्स हैं, एग्रीगेटर्स हैं, दे हैव एक्चुअली उन्होंने राइड किया है जो पूरा आईटी कैपेबिलिटी है इंडिया की, उसको। आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा है, स्पेशली पिछले 2-2.5 साल में आफ्टर दिस गवर्नमेंट केम? हाउ ईजियर इट हैज़ बिकम फॉर पीपल लाइक यू टू फ्लोट, ऑपरेट, सस्टेन and expand the business?
See, I think I totally echo Ravi's words earlier. When I think about how government has influenced businesses, not just ours, but in general, if you think about it over the last 2-3 years, you suddenly have seen large programs or projects being floated around areas which are so relevant to each one of us. It seemed that for the last 5-10 years there was stuff happening which you somehow couldn't even relate to. And by the way, it's not just Startup India which is very relevant. By the way, who could have ever expected startups to get become such legitimate part of such mainstream in India? Now this word Startup India has gone to every household. Right. You know, like my uncles, my aunts who would have never even understood earlier what startups mean and would tell me, what are you doing? You're leaving a well-paying job to do something of your own. Now understand it's a very, and not just legitimate, but also a very futuristic way of keeping yourself occupied. And not just Startup India, but even if you look at the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the Digital India campaign, the demonetization drive, etc. Never before have we seen a government come up with schemes and programs which are so here and now, which are so relevant. To each one of us. So I would say the fact that in our country, so we have been in business for about 2 years now at Tribo. We have never really had any issues with any government policy which has, let's say, come in the way of doing business. Right. In a lot of other countries, you probably cannot really say that, right? Now, of course, you will always have a wish list, and we have ours as well. But I have to say that in this country, at least, and more so in the last couple of years or so, very rarely would young businesses say, hey, I'm not able to progress because government is coming in the way. Right?
That's nice to hear.
So it's okay if some process you need to complete, some registration you need to complete, getting a trademark, getting a PAN or whatever. I mean, it's okay if these things take a few more days. It's fine, right? I mean, the larger scheme of things, does that really matter, or does it matter that the government is out there looking after you and creating forward-looking schemes for you? So I, as an entrepreneur, I would say I'm very happy with how the environment has been given to us to flourish.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of questions from the audience, but before that, Govind, I need one quick comment from you, and it's relevant. कि जब ये डिमोनेटाइजेशन हुआ एंड देन दिस होल पेमेंट सिस्टम्स एंड डिजिटल पेमेंट, उसके बारे में काफ़ी बात हो रही थी. नाउ द क्रिटिक्स हैड अ डिफरेंट व्यू. उनका ये कहना था कि इसमें विद इन द इंडियन सोसाइटी एंड इकोनॉमी एक बहुत बड़ा डिस्कनेक्ट क्रिएट हो गया है. सो देयर वर विलेजेस जहाँ पे कैश पहुँच नहीं रहा था, पीपल वर डिपेंडिंग ऑन बार्टर सिस्टम. देन ऑब्वियसली देयर आर स्टोरीज लाइक फ्री चार्ज और पेटीएम और मोबीक्विक हु एक्सपैंडेड सो रैपिडली एंड द वे आई लुक एट इट, this whole demonetization drive could succeed to some extent because you guys were there. आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा है when you went to the hinterland, the cow belt? वहाँ पे लोगों का रिएक्शन क्या रहा है to this entire move, and क्या वहाँ पे कोई ऐसे gaps हैं which need to be filled and maybe budget can be an opportunity for that?
So it is absolutely right to say people felt pain. I mean, it is not as if people didn't feel pain, and it would be wrong for people like us to sit and keep clapping, and people are feeling the pain, and some people did feel a lot of pain. But having said that, I mean, if you're making such a large decision, you have to make a few bets. And like Rosto was saying, everywhere where you go, this move has the support of the people, because people know that the entire issue of black money is a big issue in the country. When you are salaried employees, and first thing is we asked some employees in our company what they felt. One of them said, look, I've been working for 10 years, every year I've been paying tax. I'm not sure everybody's paying tax in the country on the income. Maybe I'm the only guy paying tax in my family, right? And that caught the mood of the people, right? So why only people in the hinterland? Even I felt pain, right? When I've gone and stood in the bank and pulled out money, because at some point in time, it's difficult to believe that India will be entirely cashless in 5 years. It will take some time. But having said that, I think everywhere you have to make a start. And I think today, because of this, everywhere consumers, when they start doing digital payments, what we find is that, and this is an amazing thing for the category, is that if you do 3 digital payments, yeah, the chance that you will completely move to digital payments is 80%.
80%, true.
Which means that if you do 3 payments, next month you will come back and do a payment. If you do 5, it's 95. So I think what has happened now is that lots of people have got used to digital payments. And what we are seeing now is that even as there is more like this new term of remonetization where money is coming into the economy, it is not slowing down our growth pace. So we've done more transactions.
That's a myth.
Yeah, because we've done, like, let me give you the number, right? In the first week of January, now 11 days now, the first 10 days of January, each day we have done more transactions than we did in the month of September for merchant transactions, which is people using a wallet to pay at merchants. And in November, this was 12 times. In December, it was a little more than that. But now it's like 30 times what we did in September. And I think it will only accelerate as we end the month and obviously grow. What is happening now is that people have discovered that digital payments is actually a simpler, swifter, and paradoxically more secure, even though people say phone ghum jayega, but the chance of you getting pickpocketed or the chance of you being mugged or somebody taking your money away is also equally great. So I think, yes, you're right, big moves will have some pain, but the great thing about this is that the response from the consumer has been one of support rather than one of despair.
But Rosto,
one last point just to add to that, past cycles have shown that adoption speed increases dramatically. For example, if there are 10 individuals and 10 merchants, there's a certain speed. But the more the 11th one comes on either side. If 11 merchants come, then he'll bring the 11th consumer, and the 11th consumer will become the 12th merchant, and so on and so forth.
Exponential effect.
So the growth will be dramatic. It just required one momentum, one push, one incident to create that initial spark. I think it will spread very, very quickly. So the pain will become lesser and lesser over time, and the convenience and the improvements will become more and more. Partly because of what we call the network effect. The more consumers come, the more producers will come, etc. Secondly, all of this is extremely competitive, right? Like you yourself said, there are 3 or 4 payment providers right now. The fact that for growth, they will all need to improve their technology, they will all need to improve their customer service, they'll need to take care of customer perceptions on security, etc., etc. So the competition will drive all of them to become more efficient and become more user-friendly and more customer service-friendly over time. That will also then bring in more players. So I think it's a huge, virtuous cycle that will get created. Just needed a spark. I don't think many people know the largest e-commerce site in India is actually the Indian Railways. And that is the best example of people in the hinterland, like you said, going and using that to book tickets, etc., etc. So I don't think technology adoption is a challenge in the demographics of India, and the penetration of technology in India is so strong right now. I don't foresee adoption to be a major long-term challenge.
But the security part of it?
Security part of it will continuously evolve. If you look at Bollywood, from the time Amitabh Bachchan and Shashi Kapoor were actors, the robbers were always one step ahead of the cops. So security is always also an evolving game. You can't take it for granted. There will be smart people on both sides. There'll be very capable individuals who want to become hackers and want to get rich quickly. The companies will also understand the importance of it and will start improving on security. You can never say the security war is won. That will be a continuous evolution.
I also feel that to Govind's point in terms of the wallets suddenly becoming more popular because people were forced to, we need to think about it. What it has also done is forcibly induce trial of a service that is actually significantly more convenient than using cash, right? If you think about it, one of the main reasons why Uber and then Ola became so popular in India, of course, in addition to availability of cabs, is that simple additional convenience of stepping out of the cab and walking away without having to, figure out cash, figure out change, etc. And while until recently, a lot of people had their reservations, had their anxiety about going cashless and trying the convenience of wallets, now this move suddenly forced that trial. And a lot of them are saying, hey, I didn't realize this could be this convenient. And now fine, I might have my cash back, I might have those beautiful looking notes back in my wallet, but I don't want to use that because this is so much more convenient. So it's not just about the exponential effect of one person after the other catching on. It's happening because genuinely, like Govind said, the real competitor is cash.
Right.
And as long as your solution has less friction than the alternative, that convenience is what will keep the trend going.
Absolutely. So, quick question from you. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm Shankaran. This question on the startup. Basically, positivity of government towards these startups. What kind of impact you foresee on the IT companies? Will they be able to manage the progress?
With this whole startup revolution that's going on, so many startups coming up. I think Rostov, you and then maybe Ravi can add to that. But is it really a challenge for IT companies with so many startups coming up?
I would say no, in the sense that the one day-to-day reality is obviously the fight for talent. Startups, because of the excitement, because of the buzz that is there for startups, it's a huge magnet for talent. And to that extent, the traditional technology services companies obviously have to compete with it. But I don't think it's a problem because whether it is, say, physical fitness, adversity always makes you stronger. Resistance training makes you stronger, right? So similarly, when it comes to competing for talent, this will force IT companies to also refine their messages and do the best that they can to attract talent. I think it's a huge positive. I don't see that as a challenge.
One of the things that the government should focus on is the ease of doing business. Today, it takes about 45 days to a couple of months to actually incorporate a startup. So I think the government is making some moves on that, making it faster to incorporate a business. That will help startups a lot more. You can get to speed. You can actually start collecting your first payments very quickly. And apart from that, this is the first time that we have a government who's actually talking about startups. We've had like radio silence for all of these years about anything. So that's a good move. And beyond that, the sort of, the olive branch which has been extended with respect to tax exemptions for 3 years to 5 years. It's great that the government's talking about that. We need to know more concrete steps on how to actually claim that and probably extend that a little bit more to 5 to 7 years. So that will really help startups. That will actually make a huge difference.